Hello, everyone. So, if you're tuning in for the first time, this is going to be part of my new news journey, okay? New news dashboard journey, all right? So, um, earlier today I was doing some sound meditation, and two things happened in the midst of my sound meditation. My daughter came in the room and she expressed a drawing that she had. So she had put a pair of Crocs. Well, if I'm going to tell a story, I'm going to tell the story right. Okay, listen. In the middle of my sound meditation, my husband called me. And he said, hey, what's going on? How's everything? With homeschool, whatever. And I was like, it's going great. It's pretty good, whatever. Like, today's a light day. My daughter comes in the room and she goes, oh, look at what I drew. She was like, it's Peppa Pig with Crocs on. And me and him started laughing because we were like Karen shoes, right? So may she continue to sleep in peace. My husband's Aunt Karen wore nothing but Crocs, okay? It could be like a snow blizzard outside and Karen had on like three pairs of socks and her Crocs, okay? Like, this is just given, okay? Aunt Karen was real cool, so it made me think of how I met Aunt Karen before even meeting my husband. So when I was about 16 years old, my Aunt D gave me this like wooden dresser that had, gold handles on it, a middle mirror, and on the sides of the mirror were like shelves. And it was like a shelf in front of the mirror where I used to collect my Mystic Sun, Moon, Planet bottles, right? I don't know how old you guys are, but Mystic used to have a series of bottles that had like moon, earth, water, fire, like elements and planets, right? So I collected all of them, okay? I think there was about 9 of them that they made. So I used to fill them up with little things like bobby pins, pinches. For those who don't know what pinches are, they're the twisty tie things that for your hair. What else? Just like random little things or whatever. I used to keep them in. So, one time my mom and dad, they was doing some like redecorating, and they was like, it's time for that dresser to go. Now, I personally didn't think it was anything wrong with the dresser, but they was like, the dresser has to go, you'll get a new one, whatever. And I was just so upset. But as I was getting rid of the dresser, I was just saying, whatever, one day I'm going to have my own dresser and I'm going to buy the same exact dresser. And it's so funny because I don't know if it was within that night or within that month, but I had a dream about the dresser. I had a dream that I was sitting on a porch with somebody, didn't know if it was a guy or a girl at the time, and this lady came out and she had on a white shirt with like flowers on it, like pink and yellow, green flowers on it. It was like a long sleeve t-shirt, and she came outside and she asked for a light. So now at the time, I'm 16, right? So of course I was sneaking around doing things, but I was like, where am I sitting? Like, whose balcony am I sitting on? Who is this lady? And why is she asking me for a light? Okay. So I'm 16. So I have this dream. I wake up. I go to the curb to say one last goodbye to the dresser because I was so hooked on this dresser. It had like 9 drawers, 3 little drawers on one side. So it was just a perfect layout for me, and I just didn't want to give it up. But, I rubbed it down and was like, we'll see each other one day. And in that dream, she had asked for a light, but I didn't have one. So I ran to the room, and off of the same dresser, I got a light from out the drawer. Flash forward I think I must have been about 24, maybe 23, 24 years old when I met my husband. And, at first it was just like, it was a lot of courting because we were friends and we didn't know, like, if we wanted to cross that boundary or whatever. But eventually we did, and we ended up moving in with his parents like 3 months before we got our own place, right? So what's so funny is that in our room appears that dresser, right? Appears that dresser. And I was just like, oh my goodness, I used to have a dresser just like this when I was younger. Like when I was a teenager, I used to have a dresser just like this that I loved so much. He was like, oh really? All right, great. Well, I'll take the tall one, you'll take that one. So here I am again, not even knowing, because nobody told me these things, about manifestation. So nobody told me these things. So I'm just like, wow, this is like part of that dream that I had. A couple of months go by. Now, I already met his Aunt Karen, but I didn't see her in this way. A couple of months go by, and we're sitting out on the balcony. And she comes outside, and he was like, oh, that's Aunt Karen. She's going to come outside and chill with us. And I said to him, Aunt Karen's going to come outside. She's going to have on a white shirt. She's going to have pink and yellow flowers on her shirt. And she's going to ask for a light. And he said, what? And that's when I broke the news to him that, like, I have dreams and some of them come to pass. Most of them come to pass, right? Because I really, didn't want to scare him off, really, before we got married. I was already, crazy in the brain, okay? So now I didn't want to tell him, yeah, so by the way, I have, this psychic ability. But anyway, she comes outside. She's wearing this shirt. She asks for a light. Now he's freaked out, I'm freaked out, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, deja vu number 2, okay? I didn't know in that dream where I was. I didn't know who I was sitting next to, but I knew Aunt Karen. Didn't know her name at 16, but I knew Aunt Karen because I knew her face or whatever. But when I met her, just, hey, this is my Aunt Karen, it never resonated with me that, oh, you had a dream about this lady until that day of deja vu. So basically what I'm just trying to say is that some of the things that I manifested, I believe I manifested in fear or not having. I believe I manifested in anger. And it wasn't until recently that I start putting all these things together about what it is that I can do with my mind and what it is that I can do with my own reality. And today, her just bringing up the Crocs and us laughing about, the Karen shoes or whatever, just reminded me how I have come a long way of seeing my abilities and knowing that things happen in full circle. And I really didn't understand that. I understood it, but I really didn't understand it until today. So I guess what I'm saying is be mindful of what it is that you ask for when you're angry. Be mindful of what it is that you say to yourself and you say out into the universe when you're lacking. Be mindful of any thoughts that you have, because sometimes you don't even know that you're manifesting. And then sometimes you manifest and then you keep looking for those things to pass. But as long as you're mindful and you have great intentions, I believe you can manifest anything. It just depends on what frequency you're manifesting on. So with that being said, everything comes in full circle. We just never know when we start and when we end. And I think going around in the motions is just part of the journey that we should just be embracing until the universe says it's time. Because with all this worry that I had going on, I gained 15 pounds since quarantine, which I don't think it's bad, but for me, who used to be like 350 some odd pounds at the age of 19 and 20, like I promised myself I would never get back to that. So me, getting to 200 pounds is just like, get your stuff together, So just be mindful of what it is that you're thinking, what thoughts you're thinking, what negative thoughts and positive thoughts. Like, try to separate your ego from whatever it is. Try to like pinpoint when your ego's talking to you and when your spirit is talking to you, because your intuition and manifestations, man, when they show up, sometimes you're scared of yourself, because sometimes you're like, what did I do? Like, what did I speak into existence, I don't regret anything. I'm just sitting back now and realizing, like, wow, I manifested everything it is that I have today. And I'm very grateful that some of the things, without me knowing, came to pass. I just wish that I would have had these tools in my bag at a younger age. So now that most of us are grabbing onto these tools and putting them in our tool bag, we need to be mindful about what it is that we teach our children, constantly tell them, to watch their thoughts, and, to keep God first, and, to allow them to go through their own little healing process, because I'm quite sure it may not be huge trauma like most of us has had, but it's definitely been enough to where, like, she's always screaming at me, or I'm always getting in trouble. But we have to tell our kids to look at their actions now, not later. Let's not wait until they get too old in order to see things come full circle the way I have. I wish I was able to express these abilities that I had when I was younger, because then I feel like people would have understood me a lot more, even though my mom always claimed I was this hippie child. So kudos to that, because I'm truly embracing that. Truly embracing that I am this hippie spirit. I don't even know how to put it, but I want you guys to just be mindful of what's going out there, because sometimes you just never know what you're wishing upon a star on, So have a good one. I hope you enjoyed this little talk. I hope I made sense into what it is that I said, because I know I can be a little weird, okay? So have a good one. Hope you guys enjoyed. Later.